Scorpio. So Neptune enters your sixth house at the end of Jan 2026. Neptune in the sixth house can make you extra sensitive regarding health, or you're extra sensitive towards your coworkers, they are extra sensitive towards you. They can also be some kind of deception, or your day-to-day routine might include something creative or glamorous because Neptune is a creative planet. So you're indulging more in painting day to day, or you're listening to more music, or more into drama and stuff. You're more into creative fields, somehow including creative topics in your day-to-day routine. Neptune has been in your fifth house for past 13 to 14 years, and it's gonna move into your sixth house for the next 12 years. So the confusion or the extra sensitivity angle you had all these 14 years regarding children, regarding your dating life, will come to an end at the end of Jan. Saturn moves into your sixth house Aries around Valentine's Day 2026. It's gonna stay there until April 2028. So for the next 2 years, this Saturnian energy is pretty prominent. Saturn in sixth house, you could overwork during this time because sixth house is also one of your work houses. You might have issues with your colleagues. You're taking work way more seriously than before. Your day-to-day work, either you're overworking, or the work itself gets somehow tougher, or you're way more focused on your health and you have this impeccable plan to get fit, and you're involving that while Saturn is in your sixth. Take care of your health. Saturn in the sixth can also make you thinner, so if you want to lose weight, it's a good time for that. Consistent workouts, a very structured daily schedule is also, Saturn can also create that in sixth. You could have some issues or blockages in terms of your health. You could have some health issues. Saturn will be retrograde in Aries at the end of July, and it stays retrograde until the middle of December 2026. Things could be extra stubborn or super slow while Saturn is retrograde. You could be redoing or reevaluating or revisiting the previous topics while Saturn is in the sixth house of Aries for you. Uranus moves into your eighth house. Uranus has been in your seventh house since 2018. Uranus is gonna move almost at the end of April 2026, and it's gonna stay there for next 8 years. So Uranus in 8 now, the shocking, the technological, the sudden things happening energy is going to your eighth house. At the end of April, you'll be done with all of that, most of the relationship shocks, and it will move on to the eighth house. Eighth house is one of the finance houses. It is your inheritance, your investments, your taxes, your stocks, the money you lend and stuff. So you have to be careful that you're not spending money or investing money on a whim. Try not to lend people money. Take your time. Uranus is a very quick, sudden energy. Take your time instead of just making any sudden, quick moments here. Eighth house is physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. It also rules life and death, fertility, your reproductive system, excretory system. So there could be some kind of sudden issues around these topics with Uranus in eighth. Sudden issues with your in-laws can arise while Uranus is in the eighth. Now Jupiter, the first half of 2026, Jupiter continues to stay in Cancer, which is your ninth house, but the second half of 2026, Jupiter moves into your 10th house, which is a career house. So planet of luck is currently in the house of long distance travel, legal court cases, academics. So utilize the Jupiterian energy the first half completely if you want to get into academics, if you want to train yourself more, or gather more knowledge regarding your career or work. Any legal issues, any issues regarding faith, religion, anything regarding government, long distance travel. Make sure to take advantage of the Jupiter until the end of June, And then Jupiter is gonna enter your 10th house Leo at the end of June, and it's gonna stay there until the end of July 2027. So you have 1 year of luck in terms of career with Jupiter in the 10th. Take full advantage of it. Don't sell yourself short. Make sure you're grabbing that good opportunities. Make sure that you're expanding your career. Make sure you're showcasing what you're all about. This is a great time, and it only happens once every 12 years, so please take advantage of it. Jupiter in the 10th is great for your career, promotions, changes in career, where your expansion in career, changes in career for the betterment of you. And also, your superiors are nicer to you. You have superiors who are beneficial to you. Your authority figures are nicer to you. Jupiter already starts retrograde in Cancer, and in while in 2026 in it stays retrograde until almost the middle of March 2026. So things could be slowing down in terms of your academics, or you could be reevaluating things in terms of your academics or legal stuff, long distance travel while Jupiter is retrograde. And Jupiter is again retrograde in Leo from middle of December till middle of April. So you are reevaluating stuff, or things could be slowing down a lot more in terms of your career, reevaluating or redoing some stuff regarding your career or public image. Currently, North Node is in Pisces in your 5th house, while South Node is in your 11th. But at the end of July 2026, North Node switches into your 4th house in Aquarius, and South Node will switch into your 10th house of Leo. The eclipses currently activate the 5-11 house axis, and later on, the second half of year onwards, around the end of July, and they stay there until the end of March 2028. North Node in your 4th house and South Node in your 10th house. Eclipses tend to activate these houses a lot more while the nodes are present. With North Node in your 5th, this focus is more on your children, on your creative projects, on your dating life, and it shifts to your 4th house, which is the house of home. So the focus will go into your home life, where you could be buying properties or you could be selling properties. You're moving into new house. There are changes in homes. There could be some major changes in homes. There could be changes with your parents, or there could be changes in your family dynamic with your parents or with your mom once North Node enters your 4th house. The first eclipse of 2026 happens around 17th or 18th of Feb. This is a new moon in Aquarius, which is your 4th house. This is a partial solar eclipse, so it's not as potent. So changes regarding your home life. Again, you could be buying new property, you could be selling new property, you could be changing homes, or there could be some kind of major changes regarding your family or family dynamic or relationship with your family, or some major changes could be happening in your mother's life. The next eclipse is around 2nd or 3rd March, depending on where you live. This is a full moon, and this is a total lunar eclipse. This is way more potent, and it happens in the axis of your 5th house and 11th house. So there could be major changes regarding your hobbies, your children, your dating life. You could be starting new projects, you could be ending friendships or starting new friendships, or there could be major changes regarding your social media or social networking or social circles. The next eclipse happens around 12th or 13th of August 2026. The new moon is in Leo. This is a total solar eclipse, so it is pretty potent. By this time, the North Node is in Aquarius and the South Node is in Leo. The new moon is in Leo, so there could be major career changes. The seeds you're planting around this time can lead you to get you into a really good career. You're probably changing jobs, or you're planning on changing jobs, you're attending interviews, or you probably are getting a promotion or got a promotion. So this is a great time for changes in career, that to good changes in career. At the end of August 27 or 28, you have a full moon. This is partial lunar eclipse. It is not as potent as the total eclipse. But this again activates the houses of your 5th and your 11th. So again, there could be changes regarding your network circles, your friends, your internet image, or your activism, social media stuff, or changes regarding your children, your hobbies. You could be starting new projects or your dating life. There are major changes there. Mercury goes retrograde in all the water signs in 2026. Mercury enters Pisces in the second week of Feb and it stays there for 67 days. Mercury enters Cancer in the beginning of June and it stays there for 69 days. Mercury enters Scorpio in the beginning of October and it stays there for 67 days. Mercury retrogrades at the end of Feb and until the end of third week of March in Pisces for 22 days. Pisces is your 5th house, so you could be dealing with delays of information, misinformation, redoing some stuff or reevaluating some kind of information regarding your projects, your kids, your dating life. Mercury goes retrograde at the end of June and it stays retrograde until the end of third week of July in Cancer for 24 days. Cancer is your ninth house, so you could be reevaluating, or there could be delays in information. There could be delays in long distance travel. You could be redoing some stuff or reevaluating, or there could be miscommunication when it comes to travel or legal stuff or anything regarding academics while Mercury is retrograde in your ninth in Cancer. Mercury is gonna be retrograde last week of October and until mid-November in Scorpio for 20 days, which is your first house. There could be delays in terms of some information, or you could be reevaluating information, or there could be miscommunication, or redoing some stuff regarding anything that directly affects you. It could be your body, your health, anything related to your self image, self concept. You might not be in a mood to work, or things kind of slow down while Mercury is retrograde in your first house. Venus for 2026 spends most of its time in Libra and in Scorpio. Venus spends time in Libra for 75 days, while Venus spends for 79 days in Scorpio, including 2027. So Venus enters Libra, which is your 12th house, in the second week of August and it stays there until the middle of September. It re-enters in the last week of October and it stays there until the end of first week of December. Venus in your 12th house makes spirituality, mental health topics, abroad travel a lot more easy. So this is a time you could be traveling abroad or you're dealing with mental health and you're thriving at it. You're feeling much more blissful, you're feeling a lot more peaceful. You could also be spending way more money while Venus is here. You could be meeting your your partner secretly while Venus is here. Venus enters Scorpio, which is your first house, in the second week of September and it stays there until the end of third week of October. It re-enters in the second week of December and it stays there until the end of first week of Jan. So Venus in your first house of Scorpio. Venus in the first house is always a good term. You're attracting things to go your way. You're attracting more blessings. You're more focused on beautifying. You look more beautiful. You you're focused on improving your self image. You're focused on improving your self concept and things are going more your way rather than not while Venus is in the first house. So enjoy the easy breezy time while Venus is in your sign. Now Venus goes retrograde at the last week of October 2026 till the middle of November 2026 in Libra. During retrograde in 12th house, you are either reevaluating or redoing stuff or things have slowed down. So topics regarding abroad travel, spirituality, secret meetings, secret lendings, secret spendings. Venus is retrograde around the second week of October and it stays retrograde until the end of third week of October in Scorpio. So you might be reevaluating things or you might be redoing things or things could be slowing down while Venus is retrograde in your first house, or you could be looking at things in a new lens, through a new lens. There is no Mars retrograde in 2026, but Mars goes back and forth between Leo and Virgo both in 2026 and in 2027. Mars stays in Leo for 141 days, while Mars stays in Virgo for 150 days, combining both 2026 and 2027. Leo is your 10th house, and Virgo is your 11th house. So Mars enters Leo at the end of September until the end of November. So while Mars is in 10th, you are way more focused regarding your career. You could be extra feisty, you could be getting into fights with your superiors. You have way more focus and way more energy in terms of your career. You're making things happen. You have all the energy while Mars is in 10th. Mars enters Virgo in the last week of November, and it stays there until the end of third week of Feb 2027. Mars in Virgo in your 11th house, you're probably fighting with your friends, or you have way more energy to socialize and network, or you're dealing with people who are extremely fit, or you're working out with your friends while Mars is in Virgo. That is your 2026 Scorpio. I hope you take advantage of things and take care of yourself.